What happens when you stop chasing an avoidant? What are they likely to experience? What are you likely to experience? Let's look at both sides. So, before I get into this video, I want to let you know I've got 25% off on my one to one coaching. If you need any support in relationship or out of relationship right now, whatever it is that you're going through, I'd love to help you and create that transformation and that change in the pattern that needs to happen in order for you to create the loving relationships that you want. So if you want any more information about that, then you can find out all about that in the links below. Use the discount code May25. Okay, that's available till the end of the month. Right, so when people change the steps in the dance, everybody feels it, because if you think about it like an actual dance, if somebody does something different than what has been learnt by both people, everybody stumbles. Everybody notices the change. People go, oh, that's not what we normally do. Okay, so even if this person does not say anything, the energy will be felt. Okay, so at first, it takes a lot for an anxious person to get to the point where they finally give up on a relationship that they have invested so much hope, so much time, so much love, so much energy into. And if this has been perpetually disappointing, then you may have got to the point where you're like, I can't do this to myself anymore. I've got to choose myself. I've got to look out for myself because this is hurting me. And if you've got there, then that's an amazing step towards your growth, even if it hurts, because I know that you're in conflict with the part of you that did not want to get here. You wanted it to work. Okay, so that's the first thing to notice, is that there'll be part of you that's like, I'm finally choosing myself, I'm finally doing something for myself, I'm gonna do it. And then there's another part of you going, don't, because I want you to stay, I want this to work out. And that's really normal for you to be in grief about that. Okay, so you might have all this energy that says, I can finally do this, and that might feel empowering and maybe give you a sense of control at first, because you'll know that it will have an impact on that person. But after a few days or a week or two, you will probably start to doubt yourself, because this is what happens to almost everybody when they finally get the courage to take a step back, to set a boundary, to say no to something that hasn't been working. You start to think, oh, have I done the right thing? Will they ever come back? What are they thinking? Maybe I should message again. But it's really important that you hold firm to the reasons why you did this in the first place. Just remember what was hurting. Just remember the inconsistency. Just remember your needs actually do matter. Okay. So on the other end of this, they may not say anything at all. You might feel like they have just rejected you completely by not chasing you, by not following up, by not doing anything. And that can really, really hurt. But remember, avoidance, avoid. So they are more likely to be avoiding their feelings by doing the things that they do to distract themselves from their feelings, whatever that might be. You know them better than me. They might be gaming more, they might be going out more, they might be drinking more, they might be whatever it is that they do. Some avoidance will go straight on the dating apps. That says nothing about you. It says everything about where they're at and what they do to avoid discomfort. Okay. People who jump from relationship to relationship to relationship don't process relationships, and therefore they carry around a load of loose ends, right? So if they've done that, don't take it personally. It does not mean that you meant nothing. It doesn't mean that your relationship wasn't special. It doesn't mean that they're not thinking about you even, because they do. And actually, they will be thinking about it. They will. They'll be wondering, okay, what happened there? They'll notice that jolt. They might even feel relief about it. And the reason why they might feel relief is because it takes the responsibility off them to make you happy, right? Wherever you might have been unconsciously depending on them to make you happy, they will notice a relief that you have chosen to do something different than that. Okay. So that's a healthier choice to make, but it doesn't bring you back together yet. Okay. So they will feel relief at first, and they will also be wondering what happened. They'll miss the validation. They'll miss wondering They'll miss you following up on them. They'll miss the conversation. They'll miss something, right? They'll probably be looking at your social media, but don't take that as a sign that you should be posting for them, because that will keep you stuck and you trapped. Okay. The other thing that you should probably not do is stop behaving the way that you were behaving before in terms of what you were doing on social media, just to make a stand, right? You should do exactly what you want to do anyway, regardless of if they're looking or not looking, because that shows again that you are doing what's right for you. You're not doing this out of an emotional reaction. You're not doing it to punish this person. You're not doing it to give them the silent treatment, which some people, anxious people, actually do sometimes because they're trying to get a reaction out of the other person. And you need to make sure that if you stop chasing this person, you're not doing it to get a reaction. You're doing it for you. You're doing it to look after you. You're doing it to actually change a pattern within you and to live by your values and your expectations of what you want relationships to be. You're doing it because you've noticed something unhealthy in you as well, not just in them. Because wherever you were dependent on them for your happiness, for your sense of safety, for your sense of self-worth, that needs to change. Okay, so you keep posting the way you want to post. um I would say one thing that can help in this situation is to block them from seeing your stories on Instagram, for example, or on Snapchat or whatever. I don't use Snapchat, I haven't used it in years, but if there's a way that you can block them from seeing your stuff, that will help you to give you the distance. Because if you perpetually see their name every single day, you will still feel like you're talking to them, essentially. And you might need the distance, and the space in order to get the insights that you need about this relationship. Okay. So it's just for you to protect you from constantly checking, are they looking, are they looking, are they looking, because that's stressful. If you haven't noticed already, it's really, really, really stressful to be doing that. Don't change your behavior apart from the things that protect you. Okay. They probably will be checking your stories. I know that's like a bit of a bind because you're like, oh, I want to see that they're checking my stories, but at the same time, I don't want to be stressed about it, right? Just choose what is least stressful for you, honestly. Um, they might not reach out for a while because they might feel a sense of just discomfort about the dynamic changing. However, another thing that can happen is they might also notice it so immediately that they might ask you questions, and they might not like it that you're pulled away, and they might try and reel you back in with memes, with little questions, with surface level conversation. And you have to, at that point, if they do that, say, hey, I can see that you're still trying to talk to me, but I have to pull back because this relationship is too inconsistent for me right now. I need something more consistent. If you can do that, great, we can talk about it. If not, then I have to pull back. And that might feel really hard because, again, you're in conflict with two parts. The part of you that knows that you want to create a healthier dynamic and that this person is not showing up for you and that you're doing all the chasing, all of the emotional labor, all of that. And then the other part of you that's like, but I really want it to work. Okay. So it will be hard to set that boundary. And like I say, you'll feel strong about it for about 3 days and then you'll dip, probably. And that's where you need the support of people. Come to the living room, for example. Lots of people there doing this, and it's a really supportive space to go through something like this. But friends, your therapist, whatever it is, the support network at this point is so important. You need people to empower you and inspire you. I have been through this myself. I know what this is like. I know what this shift is like, where you actually start changing a pattern. It is hard. It is hard. They go to their addictions, the whatever it is that they might be doing to avoid, but your addiction might have been them. Yeah, bear that in mind. And so where you might be checking, looking, analyzing, thinking about it, that's you being slightly still addicted to that. And you just have to be really gentle with yourself because it is like that for a while. And in the process of this, they're noticing that shift, and you just have to trust life with this, because the breakup had to happen, or the distance had to happen, in order for you both to get insights. People break up and get back together all the time, and sometimes the thing that made it work was the breakup. Yeah. So you have to be able to see that a breakup has to happen in order for you to either realize how much this relationship was important to you both, not just you, but that person as well has to also realize this. But also, maybe you're going to realize how stressful it was. So I think when you go into that doubting phase of, oh my God, have I done the right thing? Maybe I should text them. Maybe I should say sorry, or whatever it is that you think you might want to do. Remember that this was meant to be. Breakup had to happen as part of this relationship's journey, wherever it might lead you. And if you cave too soon, then you will not get the insights or the growth that you need in order to transform the relationship. You need space and they need space in order to get the insights, and you can't rush this. Okay. So, like I say, it can be weeks, days, weeks, months, even longer than that sometimes for people like an avoidant to recognize anything. They might do the thing where they just jump into another relationship and that can take over. And if they do that, that's a very, very clear sign to you that you did the right thing. Okay. That is a very, very clear sign that this person could not show up for you the way that you needed. It also doesn't say anything about you or your relationship or even how they felt or think about you now. It shows you how they deal with life. Okay. So if they jump into another relationship straight away, just remember, okay, that is my sign that I definitely did the right thing, even if it hurts. Okay. So there's lots of things going on that happen in this time. One of them is the abandonment issues that could pop up for both people, right? For you, the abandonment issues are, I finally chose myself and that equaled me being left, that equaled me being abandoned. And that is not the case, okay? What actually happened is you chose yourself and you were met with the misalignment of what you had created before you were choosing yourself, right? And that's just a symptom of being misaligned. It's not, and it's not to say that choosing myself equals I will be left, which is a belief a lot of people have. Some of these beliefs are hidden under lots of behaviors and other things that we can unpack in coaching. But once you see them, you can give yourself some relief in that, sometimes we tell ourselves stories after a breakup like this, like love doesn't work for me, people always leave me, I'm never chosen. And if we're not careful, we can carry that onto the next person and the next person, and then look for that as evidence because we already believe it and then end up creating the same thing. So it's really important that we get those beliefs in check so that you can let them go. Okay. So with the avoidant, they might think, they might blame you. They might, say, oh, why have you given up on us? Or things like this that can also be conflicting and confusing. Because on one hand, they want to be with you. Dismissive avoidants are especially guilty of this. They want the relationship. They want to be in a relationship, but they don't want the accountability and the emotional sort of investment that it takes to keep a relationship going. And then they blame the other person for giving up when things weren't resolved, when conflict wasn't resolved. And that's really frustrating. And again, makes you doubt your reality, makes you feel crazy. But that's not the case. That's just another thing where they're avoiding responsibility. So just beware of that. There's millions of different outcomes for this situation, but the main benefit of this is that you will grow more in connection to yourself, right? That's the thing that's been missing. That's the thing that's made so many relationship dynamics unhealthy in the past. And once you start to grow more in connection with yourself, which takes time, you have to be really gentle with yourself because it will take time. It will take time for you to start feeling like you again. And it will take, lots of little moments of feeling connected to yourself for you to feel safe in this situation and to be able to know that whatever happened was meant to be. It doesn't feel like that for a while. You might be in and out of grief and crying and looking for information and insight, and I was there too. I went through this. I totally went through this. Like, I finally made the stand to stop chasing, to stop explaining myself, to stop trying to get basic respect in a relationship. And then I went into missing the person and wanting them back and all sorts of things. And that's just all really, really normal, you know. But actually holding your boundary, even if you feel those things, is a really, really strong thing to do, and actually makes you so much stronger and more self-trusting in the long run, because your nervous system actually starts to feel safe again, which is the biggest benefit ever. Okay. They, on the other hand, might panic because they have lost the validation and the person who was so invested and in love with them. And that is a big loss. That is a big loss that they will feel. And you can count on the fact that they will notice that. Okay. Again, even if they don't say it, I have spoken to so many avoidants who have told me their thoughts after being in a relationship with somebody who was so into them, so invested in them, and then they stopped because they finally chose themselves. They tell me what they are thinking. And it is things like, um, I shouldn't have treated them like that, or maybe I should reach out. They posted this on their stories. Maybe they're doing this. Maybe they're with someone else. They are thinking about it, but often they don't do anything about it because they are afraid of rejection. And that might make you think, oh, I need to make them feel safe. I need to talk to them. Again, no, they need to face themselves, Like, you can't be in a relationship with somebody who you have to perpetually mother or father in order for them to be mature enough to stay with you. You know what I mean? So you have to let them go through their process, let them go through their growing pain that's necessary in order for the relationship to become what you want it to become. Again, I'll say it again, we first have to accept where we are in order to get to where we want to go. And that means taking your hands off the rails. That means letting this person be where they are and knowing that everybody on earth is exactly where they're meant to be, including your avoidant ex, who has to go through what they have to go through in order to get the insights and lessons that they need in order to become the person that they want to be. Okay. And you have to trust that and respect the fact that they are where they are. And in the meantime, throw yourself into yourself, do things that you love, be with people that love you and that you love, laugh more, go out more, plan a holiday, plan a trip. This is all the stuff I talk about in the self-abandonment trap, which we're having session number 2 tonight. I'm very excited. But if you want some support, like I say, then this is something that I've experienced myself. It's something that I talk to people day in, day out about this. I have seen so many different dynamics. I know how this goes. So if you want that support, let me know. Like I say, I've got my May 25 discount code available till the end of the month. And thanks for watching, everybody. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.